Thank you so much for being with me today. This is very exciting. Can you share with us your background, your name?
Sure. I'm Frank Lipman. I finished medical school in South Africa in 1979, a long time ago. And soon after I finished medical school, I realized the shortcomings of Western medicine. Because in Western medicine, we trained in hospitals. We trained in crisis care. When someone's really sick, they've broken a bone, they have acute appendicitis, they've got acute pneumonia. That's what we get trained in. And Western medicine is wonderful at this crisis care, at this acute care medicine. But as soon as I got into private practice, or I started seeing patients outside of the hospital, they were coming in and they couldn't poop and they were tired and they had digestive problems. And I saw and I realized that these patients were not being properly treated by the way I was trained. So I realized very early on that my training in Western medicine was very limited, and it was limited to that crisis care medicine. And we didn't get trained in treating the common problems that people come to you as a doctor day to day. So I realized early on in my training that I'd have to explore other modalities and other ways of treating patients that were coming in to see me.
Wellness is becoming the catchword of today. How many years ago did you become obsessed with wellness?
In the beginning, I was struggling for all of this to make sense. It was only when I started understanding how it all worked together, seeing patients getting better by putting a little bit of music on, getting them to sleep better, getting them to go for a walk, getting them to feel inspired or motivated or passionate about what they do. All these things we take for granted. When I started seeing these results in my practice, I started questioning just listening to what I'd been taught or reading what I'd read in studies. I started realizing there's this whole human condition that we ignore, or we don't really take note of, that's so important in the healing. So my new book, How to Be Well, is to show people that's not that difficult. Most people, let's say that they don't want to eat gluten. You know, if you just show people this is what you do, it's really not that difficult. The premise of the book is to make it easy for people. People don't really want to know, the exact reasons why anymore. They just want to know how to do it. So I'm obsessed with trying to make it easy for people, because when it's easy, then people will do it. When it becomes a habit, then people will do it.
So you're a leader in medicine, you're a leader in wellness. You've probably coined the word. And what are the secrets? What are the ways that somebody like me can quickly start to feel better?
Right, so I have these 6 parameters that I talk about in my book. You need to learn how to eat, how to sleep, how to move, how to unwind, how to protect yourself because we have so many chemicals, and how to connect with yourself, with your family, with your community, with the earth. So those are my 6 parameters: eating, sleeping, moving, unwinding, protecting, and connecting. Simple.
Can you talk about unwinding? Because that's probably one where we spend the least amount of time.
Well, I think we live in a culture where we on the go all the time. We have all our machines. Everyone is so stressed out. What we call from a medical perspective, there's too much sympathetic nervous system activity. So the perfect antidote to that is meditation, because meditation stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. So wouldn't it be wonderful if everyone learned meditation in school and that just became part of their lives? It would solve a lot of problems. But a lot of people aren't going to just meditate. So how else can you create that parasympathetic effect in the body, or the opposite effect of stress? You can listen to music. Bob Marley or reggae music, for instance. The beat is at approximately 60 beats per minute, which is the rate of a slow heart rate. So if you just put on Bob Marley and listen, you actually automatically slow down. If you go sit at the beach and listen to the waves, you automatically slow down. There's so many little things that one can do to just get your body to relax. And that's what the book is about, is to show people it's not that difficult. The vast majority of people in this day and age probably do best on a low carbohydrate diet. Now, why is that? There is an epidemic of diabetes and pre-diabetes, or what I call carbohydrate intolerance. And especially as you get older, your capacity to metabolize carbohydrates decreases. And we have so many carbohydrates in our diet today because we still believe this crazy myth that fat is bad for you.
So fat is not bad for you.
Fats are good for you. Carbohydrates are more of a problem than fats. Now here's a caveat. If you're eating a high-fat diet, you need to eat a low-carb diet, because having a high-carb diet with a high-fat diet, not good. But for the most part, if you're eating a low-carb diet, fats are good for you. I eat so many fat. I became pre-diabetic because I was this doctor promoting a diet full of grains, and I used to eat tons of fruit. So I was eating a diet. I wasn't eating meat. I thought being a pescatarian was healthy. So I was eating a diet, some fish, lots of grains, lots of fruits and vegetables, and I thought that was healthy, and I became pre-diabetic. And only when I cut out the grains and I cut way back on the carbs and I started not being scared of fat, because most people think fat, you think fat, they're clogging up your arteries. And only when I got over that fear and I started eating lots of almond butter and avocado and coconut oil and coconut milk and grass-fed meat and not being scared of these things and lots of eggs, my weight automatically dropped. I felt much better and my blood sugars came down. So fat, we have this myth that American society, American Medical Association, the government all bought into this low-fat nonsense. In 1955, physiologist Ansel Keys came out with this hypothesis, mind you.
Right.
There was no research, not good research, this hypothesis that there was a connection between your fat, with the fat you ate, and heart disease. And everyone bought into it. And over the years, there have been more and more studies showing that that's not the case. There's actually a correlation with low-fat eating and lower mortality. So you die earlier when you eat less fat. So it's important, eat healthy fats, not the trans fats, not the vegetable oils that people cook with. And that includes canola oil. Canola oil, there's this myth that canola oil is healthy. It's not a healthy, if you want to heat your oils, you use sometimes olive oil, but preferably avocado oil or coconut or butter or ghee. These are better to cook with. So I think, unfortunately, we eat so many unhealthy fats that fats have got a bad rap. But if you avoid the trans fats and the heated vegetable oils, and you're eating natural fats made by God, fats are not a problem.
Thank you so much for sharing how to be well. I've learned a lot, and I think that it's transformative.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for making a documentary.
It's my pleasure and my joy.